Good afternoon. I am Sreedhar. Let me introduce myself. I have over 20 years experience in project management. I have been working with leading organizations in telecom and IT industries. I had many project management roles as a project manager, project director, new product introduction project manager, service delivery manager, transition manager, etc. etc. So today I will give a brief presentation on introduction to projects. So this will cover what is a project, what is in a project, what is project management, what skills are defined for every project manager, understanding the organizational structures, understanding project life cycle and project management processes. So we'll first go to what is a project. Projects are unique. What is the meaning of unique? It means that it is something special. So projects are temporary in nature and definite beginning and end date. So they are temporary in nature and they bring out a products, services or results. This is the definition of project which is given as per the PMI, Project Management Institute, in the PMBOK or the Project Management Body of Knowledge. So they are temporary in nature and have definite beginning and end date. This is the basic difference between projects and operations, because operations normally will not have an end date. It will go on and go on. So is when operations conducted in a service organizations by another organization, is it a project or operations? For instance, if TCS, Tata Consultancy Services, conducts a project in Reliance, for where Reliance IT services management is their operations, is for TCS this IT service management and operations or a project? In this case, for TCS, it is a project because it's a contract which is having a definite begin date and end date. But for Reliance, it is an operations because it will continue on. The IT service management will continue on. This is the basic difference between operations and projects. So projects are completed when project goals are achieved. So what are the project goals that should be defined before the beginning of the project? When a project charter is developed, who develops a project charter? Project charter is developed by somebody called a project sponsor. We'll discuss in detail if we get a time on what is a project sponsor and what is a project charter. A successful project is one that meets the expectations of your stakeholder. For instance, if there is the project is there for building the metro line from Andheri, Warsaw to Ghatkopar. If it is meeting the expectations of all the stakeholders, that is the users, passengers, railways, the people, the stakeholder can be the people, shopkeepers around that railway line who has been affected by the new metro line, etc. If it is meeting expectations of all, then the project is said to be successful. So who are the project stakeholders? In a project there are many people who are affected by the project. They are called the project stakeholders. There are many in number. There can be positive project stakeholders as well as negative project stakeholders. So what is a positive stakeholder? Positive stakeholder is one who is positively affected by the success of the project. Or who is a negative stakeholder? Negative stakeholder is one who is negatively affected by the success of project. So he will say that he will make every effort to make the project unsuccessful. So we'll go in detail about what is a positive stakeholder and negative stakeholders. The types of project stakeholders are: project manager himself is a project stakeholder, project sponsor, departmental managers, customers, vendors, board of directors of the company, suppliers and executive managers. So you can see there are a wide variety of project stakeholders. Now we'll go back to a positive stakeholder. The project manager is definitely a positive stakeholder, and in fact customer and vendor, etc. But there may be somebody, a negative stakeholder. For instance, in a metro line, if the shopkeepers who are affected by the new metro line between Andheri and Ghatkopar, if they have to move to some other location and the railway is not, or the government is not compensating for them effectively, or if they go to a new location and if their sales are reducing, that means that they can be a negative stakeholder who do not like the success of the project. So that is project stakeholder. Now the next is, what is project management? So there are many definitions of project management. We'll go through what is given by the Project Management Institute in the Institute's book of knowledge, which is called Project Management Book of Knowledge. The current version is version 5. It defines it is a set of tools and techniques performed by people to describe, organize, and monitor the work of project activities. So that is the basic definition of project management. So what is a program? If there are multiple projects managed in a coordinated way, then it's called a program. So what is in a program is not two sub projects. It is there will be two project managers and there will be a program manager. The program manager will look only basically what are the interfaces between the two projects, and he will not dive deep into the two projects. For instance, if you take Reliance Retail IT Service Management, if there are two projects, one is the service desk management and other one is field operations management. If the program manager will be there for entire IT service management, but there will be separate project managers for service desk management, and there is a separate project manager for field operations. In that case, what happens is that program manager will look the interfaces between the service desk and the field operations. He will not go in deep into the service desk management and the field operation management. So that is this definition of program management is very important in today's industry, because program management has become as important as project management, which was some years ago today. So another type of the project management is called portfolio management, which is projects plus programs plus operations, which meets the strategic business goal of the organization. So in that there will be projects, there will be programs, and then the operations which has resulted from the after the project deliverables have been done. So that is called project portfolio management. So what is project management offices? Many organizations today have project management offices, which is more well known by its acronym PMO. There are many kinds of PMOs. It can be a directive PMO, it can be a consultative PMO, it can be a supportive PMO. So what is a directive PMO, what is a consultative PMO, and what is a supportive PMO? Supportive PMO basically provides the project management knowledge. It gives forms, templates, it gives training, etc. When you go a step ahead, it becomes a consultative PMO. It not only provides support, it says what to do and how to do and when to do. And in a directive PMO, the project managers directly report to the PMO, and in directive PMO, the PMO calls the shots, and it will be responsible for P&L also, which means profit and loss of all the projects. The next we go to what are the defining skills every good project manager needs. So project management's job is a mile wide and inch deep, which means that he needs to know everything of something, not necessarily everything of something. Which means if you look at Six Sigma or process management, in that case the job is mile deep and inch wide. So in a Six Sigma project, for instance, you will take basically a small project, like if installation of a circuitry is taking 25 days to complete today, a project team will be formed to reduce the cycle time to 5 days. So it will go deep and define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. So, and the project objectives will be met. A project manager's job is slightly different or quite different in the sense that he will have general management skills. He is not a subject matter expert in any other subject other than project management. He is not a technical expert. He is not supposed to be a subject matter expert in the technical, but he is supposed to have application skills in that particular technology which he is working on. But that is not mandatory, but it is desirable. Like every job has a certain USP or unique selling proposition for that. What is that for project manager? For a newspaper journalist, it is a nose for the news. What is for a project manager? For a project manager, it is a sense of urgency, which is very important. So if a project manager does not have a sense of urgency, he will not meet the project goals or the project stakeholders' expectations. So general skills a project manager should have, which is a must-have, is communication skills, organization and planning skills, budgeting skills, conflict management skills, negotiation and influencing skills, leadership skills, team building and motivating skills. So communication skills means you should be good at formal and informal, written and verbal communications, it is very much required, not only formal written, informal verbal also, and other two forms of communications also. Communication does not actually mean speaking very fluently or with a high-tech vocabulary. It means that you should be able to put across the communication to the other person in succinct and lucid manner. Organizational and planning skills, this is very important skills. How to plan for the project, how do you capture the requirements, etc. Budgeting skills, you should be knowing about the costing, how much cost, you should be able to do the cost forecasting, cost variance, etc. Conflict management skills, whenever the people are involved, people have come from different cultures, even people when they come from the same cultures, they'll have different opinions. So project manager is one of the most important skill. He is that conflict management skills. He should be able to confront the people and resolve the problems. Negotiation and influencing skills is equally important as leadership skills to lead the team and not just manage them. The team building and motivating skills include providing performance appraisals and recognitions and rewards, etc. So next we will speak about understanding the organizational structures. So generally organizational structures as far as the projects are concerned are three types. They are functional organizations, then there are matrix organization and projectized organization. So functional organizations are one which we are very familiar with, where there is a chief executive officer or managing director of the company. Then there are different verticals like human resources, finance, marketing, information technology, production, etc. And all of them are led by a chief. So there will be CHRO, which is a chief human resource officer, CFO, chief financial officer, etc., etc. In advantages of a functional organization are enduring organizational structure. There is a clear career path with an aspiration of all the people in the functional roles being met. Employer has only one supervisor and a clean chain of command. But there is the disadvantages has project manager has little or no formal authority in a functional organization. Multiple projects compete for limited resources and priority. The project team members are normally loyal to the functional managers, which also mean the project manager cannot get his deliverables done in time or as per the quality as and when required. In projectized organization, you have a CEO and then you have chief project managers or general project managers who have project teams and project managers under them. So truly this is a kind of projectized organization every project manager loves to be in, because he has lot of control and strong control also.